here from SciXchange, and I'm here in my hometown of Tyndonega, Mohawk Territory, and we're going to show you how to lye corn.
Corn, 4 cups of water, which we've already started to boil, and lye crystals.
1.5 teaspoons in a glass of warm water. Maybe hot, yeah. So it dissolves anyways. Now the water's boiling, so I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add the lye to it and the corn.
But make sure you stand back away from the pot when you're adding the lye, just so it doesn't go up in your face.
And once it starts to boil, you're going to turn the heat down to medium and put down a low boil for approximately 25 minutes. And then we'll rinse it from after that. But it hasn't quite boiled, come back to a boil yet. You try not to stir it at all, but approximately 15 minutes into it, 15 to 20 minutes, check it, because I'm going to cover it, check it. The water is going to be almost gone, so you may have to add another cup or cup and a half of water to it, and just give it a little bit of a stir, and then leave it again for another 15 minutes before we take it off. I believe it's about a half an hour now. Okay, so it's starting to boil now, so I'm going to turn it down to a lower boil, but we'll check in 15 minutes to see what if it needs water to be added.
So by putting the spoon, it prevents the water from overflowing.
Right.
For example, Carla puts hers on between 6 and 5 for her simmer. When I'm doing mine at home, I have to put mine between 5 and 4 on my stove to get that low simmer. And you always have to make sure that it doesn't stick, and if it does, do not scrape the bottom of your pot because you will ruin the whole pot. It'll smell and taste burnt.
That's some more water.
See it?
So the water is quite low.
Yeah. And you just kind of so that, well, we might have waited too long. There. And then just kind of move it around a little bit. Try not to bug it because it's thick. That stuff is thick in there, and it's going to take those eyes out. And luckily it didn't stick, so then we got another 15 minutes to
That was it.
and then we let it sit the final 15 minutes. It'll start to boil again. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so the buzzer went off, so now we're going to turn it off. We'll turn the burner off and just cover it on, I leave it right on there, and let it sit another 15 to 20 minutes. It just helps to get the black eyes out of it when we start to rinse it. It seems to help better than if you just take it away now. So we're going to just let it sit for another 15 minutes, just like this, covered. Now we're going to take the corn off the stove.
But first, we have to put on our rubber gloves because you cannot touch the corn because it's covered in lye. Can you come closer?
And you rinse it in cold water. Taking it off out of the pot. This pot we're gonna reuse. We have to boil this again when we get it cleaned up. We have to boil it again for another hour before you actually get the corn you want to make sense. It's clean. You'll be ready to use one. Okay, this is the scrubbing part and the rinsing part. And it'd be nice to have a couple people do this because it takes a long time.
Yeah, your hands get tired. Just dumping the excess off, you can see the black eyes coming off already. See the little black dots coming off?
And ideally, you don't want to see any black eyes when you get done.
That foam is obviously the lye that's coming off the corn. See the dots coming off? That's the eyes coming off the corn.
Plugging up. There's so many corn. We'll take it from there and actually pick the rest of the black eyes out of it because there'll still be a little bit left and we don't like them in there.
So you don't use this little strainer anymore? You use this?
What little strainer?
The round one. The barbecue strainer.
Nope, we just use this one. Because it cooks on there.
Mm-hmm.
And you just stuff it like that. And, oh, lots of little things come off. Like floaties.
Yeah, that's what she's doing now, is just rinsing the eyes that have come off the corn. They lay in the bottom, so this helps rinse them out with the bigger holes in the strainer. Oh man, does that look good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Just get a little cup of water so that when we're picking the eyes off, we can rinse our fingers in the water.
Now, what do you want? Where do you want yours? Yours want to just put them in there? Yeah, I'll just put it back in here.
Okay.
That's what you're doing. You're getting the black.
Mm.
You're actually manually picking them off.
Yep. See those little black eyes? And you just
The
go
ones
like
that
that.
wouldn't fall off.
The ones that didn't fall off, yeah. They're all loose. And this is a really good batch. It rinsed really well.
To get it off your finger, you have to stick it in the water, and they come right off your finger. If you don't do that, then you can't get them off.
No. And I don't believe, do you, Carla, that it doesn't hurt the corn if you leave the eyes on there. Some people like the eyes on there. We just do it for appearance. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I like them off.
Yes, I do too. To me, it tells me that we've washed the corn really well and it's nice and clean.
And of course, the more people you have helping, less time this takes. And the pot it goes. Oh, another thing, don't use the same spoon. Don't use the same spoon. Get a clean spoon. No, you don't want nothing that had lye on it.
I'll hold your pot.
And this will only boil for, no, you say 10 minutes.
See, all the eyes are gone. Beautiful corn.
just so it covers. Maybe the water. But this isn't gonna. We're gonna rinse it again and then do the final boil after 10 minutes.
So this is after the.
This is the 10-minute boil
This
now.
is the 10-minute boil.
Now we're gonna take it off and rinse it again. This is just like just to be sure that all the lye is out of it.
It's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not even. It's like
That's pretty good. You can really see the difference from the first already.
a lot of lifting. You need muscles.
Now what are you doing?
Now we're just gonna reboil it now again. So this one you're gonna boil for about an hour. You boil it until it's, what would you say, Lynn?
Al dente, I call it.
Yeah.
Like pasta.
Yeah, you don't want it soft, but you want it still firm.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you use this in corn soup, you reboil it again in your corn soup, say half an hour. So you don't want it to fall apart. So you don't want it to be too soft. And that's it. So it's there. It's gonna be there for about an hour now. And you wait till it starts to boil, and then you turn it down to the medium again, just the low simmer for about an hour. And then Lynn eats half of it.
Yeah, usually.
Normally. Lynn and your dad eat half of it before we get it all baked.
She should have 3.5 bags, but she ends up with 3 bags.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, our rule is about 3 cups in a bag. Quart bag, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can freeze it, I don't know, 6 months to a year maybe in your freezer.
You can. It doesn't, ours doesn't last that long.
So I'm just rinsing it with cold water just to maybe speed it up a little bit to cool it off. But I just let it sit till it's cool enough to bake. That's it. Done.